Hello, my name is Kyle Sinclair. This is the second video. So we have our texture right here, our mesh. Um, I created my specular map. One thing I want to make everyone aware of is when creating your specular map, don't just change the brightness and contrast. Put a lot of time into it. Right here I changed my brightness and contrast, raised my contrast up, desaturated it a bit, pinched my levels together so the white is more visible, and the white will make your texture shinier or more specular. Turn down the lightness just a bit because it was too bright in the upper right corner here. I overlaid a scratch texture here and turned down the opacity on it so it originally looked like that. Then I saved it out as a targa and set this back here. Then I went into my normal map. This was my original normal map from 3ds Max when I baked my high poly to my low poly. I used Crazy Bump here to take my specular map that I had and I imported it into Crazy Bump, and Crazy Bump then gave me this option to play with my detail, and as you can see it created a better looking normal map. And I just went in here, played around with these sliding bars here and got what I wanted. I saved it out, put it into Photoshop, and overlaid my texture from Crazy Bump onto my original. Cranked down the opacity to 50% to still display the bottom one and not to make it overly bumpy. I haven't tested it yet, so we're going to see how this looks like. I'm going to open my content browser, Control-Shift-F, go into my material here. Actually, let's import it first. That might be a good idea. So we got our normal and specular. You can hold Control to and select multiple files. I'm going to hit open. Now, when you import your normal map, the only thing you have to change is you set your compression settings where it says TC default. You change that to TC_normal map. That's the only thing you need to change. Hit OK. And when it comes up to specular, put it back to default and hit OK. And then it'll import those. And let's do a quick save just in case. Save selected. Open up our material. Save that too. Open up our material and let's start throwing stuff in. We select our specular. Open up the material, hold T, left click. There we go. Plug our black into specular. And let's see how this looks here. As you can see, when I hold L and move the mouse around, you can see the specular map a lot better than when we didn't have this at all. There was no light to it. It was just plain, and that's why we really have to spend a lot of time into our specular and make sure it reads well so we can get that shininess that we want. So let's plug in our normal map as well, see how that looks. So we select it, go back into our editor, hold T, left click, there we go. Plug that into normal, and you can see an immediate change right there. It looks a lot better than it did before. So we're just gonna organize this a little. Let's close this, save it out, and let's see how it looks. So it doesn't look too bad. It actually, I'm surprised how well it looks. Let's see how well it reads with our lights. Alright, there you have it. Is your normal and specular map. Crazy Bump, however, is not free. It's like $5 or $15 or something to get it. This is one tool that I use quite a bit because, as you can see, it just pumps out the normal maps. You can also, I believe you can do specular maps as well. Yeah, you can do displacement, occlusion, specularity, diffuse, a whole bunch of stuff that you can play with. I know there's other plugins for Photoshop, or I don't know if there's anything for any 2D packages, but the plugins for Photoshop, there's NVIDIA Filter and other free plugins. However, all the ones that I've tried, they don't offer the preview like Crazy Bump does, so you can see your normal map right away, and you can adjust the fine detail, medium, large, very large, your shape recognition, your noise removal, and all that stuff. And that's why I use Crazy Bump. And that pretty much concludes the normal and specular map. However, I also want to go over something else here. Just let me open this up. Where is it? In here. I took these pictures off of a Gears of War limited edition art book, and it's basically a picture off one of the maps that they did, and I know it's poor quality, but as you can see, it shows it has this green block here, and basically what it says is 256 by 256, and their regular map looked like that. So the one thing that I want to make you guys aware of is there is a lot of tiling going on in this, and it also saves a lot of space. And there's another picture here of all the stuff that they tiled: 256 by 256 wall texture, window mesh 256 by 128, floor texture, and they repeated a lot of their textures, and it just saves a lot of space in the game engine when you're creating the game. So that's one thing you want to keep in mind, is the modularity of something, say like a floor or a wall. You want to repeat it as much as possible. Try not to make some obvious shapes in it, like a huge oil stain on top of a floor. Don't put that there. You can use decals or decals, or however you want to say them, to scatter them amongst the wall or the floor to make it look more unique. And that's something that you can also add to break up the shape or the texture. And yeah, so that concludes this video. Next will be the light map and the alpha map, and we'll see how it goes from there.